Hi, it's Amy. I showed you before how I transformed this unfinished dollhouse from Michael's into this adorable finished dollhouse. I actually decorated two dollhouses. One was for a 4-year-old and the other for a 7-year-old. I've already given the 4-year-old, who is my great niece, hers last weekend when my extended family exchanged Christmas gifts. I'm still working on the one for the 7-year-old, but I'm running out of time. Before I show you how I furnished them, I want to talk to you a little bit about scale. The scale of this house is a little off. Based on the height of the ceilings and the size of the windows and all, I think the scale is regular dollhouse scale, which is 1 to 12 scale. But in regular dollhouse scale, these rooms are tiny. They're more like closets than rooms. I mean, just look at how this sofa, which is regular dollhouse scale, fits in the living room. So I went down in scale for these dollhouses. For the 4-year-old, I went to 1/16 scale, which is what calico critters and toys like that are. The furniture is still a bit snug, but I think it will work out because I think children at that age mostly play with the toys outside of the dollhouse. They don't really play by placing the furniture carefully in the rooms and arranging it just so. I think that she'll spread it all out in front of the dollhouse and play with it that way. So this set of furniture is from Amazon, and it includes stuff for the kitchen, the bath, and laundry. It's way more than can fit, but again, I don't think it'll be a problem because of the way she'll play with it. The set came with lots of tiny accessories, and for the most part, they were solid colored plastic. I used a little bit of tester enamel paint to add tiny details like the silver to the pots and pans. It didn't take long, but it went a long way in making these accessories look more realistic. I had this rocking chair in my stash. It's regular dollhouse scale, but I think it's okay here since it's practically the only thing in the room. I bought this stool, also 1/12 scale, from Hobby Lobby. I had this little vintage doll bed in my stash, and I made some bedding for it. And that's how I furnished the tiny house for the 4-year-old in 1/16 scale. For the 7-year-old, I went to half scale or 1/24 scale. This scale does look a bit dwarfed in these tall rooms, but the footprint works a lot better. So let me tell you what I did. I used a free pattern and tutorial from Bentley House Minis to make these two tiny armchairs. I bought a couple of kits. They're 1/24 kits from Hobby Lobby, and used the pieces from one of these kits to make this cabinet. There are lots of other things from this kit, like a floor lamp that I might add later. The other kit I bought made this kitchen, the refrigerator, the counter and sink, and table and chairs, and this little wall lamp too. I love how this room looks. Here's the box that the kitchen kit came in. I think it was about $6 or less, so I think that's a bargain. And here's the kit I used for the cabinet in the living room. There's a lot left over. We can make some of it together and add it later on. Because this kit included electricity and was a little bit bigger, it was a little more costly, but I think still cheaper than buying ready-made furniture, and easier than starting from scratch. I did buy these fixtures for the bathroom. I made the mistake of trying to use a heat gun to remove the faucets and completely melted them. I didn't know they were plastic, so I actually bought 2 of these sets. I made a mirror by framing a little mirror circle tile with a jewelry finding from my stash. The jewelry finding was silver, so I painted it with gold metallic paint, and I used E6000 to glue them together. Finally, I made a little bed from scratch. I really wish I'd videoed this process, but honestly, I wasn't confident that it would turn out. I used a steel rule die that I had. It was a little baby shoe from Eileen Hall. It was a really old die. In that die, there's a shape for the tongue of the shoe that happened to be just about the right size and dimension for the headboard. I placed the chipboard along the shape so that it cut it where I would want it, and I repeated that a little bit shorter for the footboard. I used coffee stirrers to make the frame of the bed. Popsicle sticks cut to size made the slats. I just happened to have 4 dollhouse table legs in my stash. I turned them upside down and they made perfect bedposts. I made cuts where I thought it looked good for the head and the foot of the bed, and then I added a little wooden bead on the top for the finial. Then, after I glued everything together, I painted everything pink. I added the little decal to the headboard. It's a rub-on embellishment from my paper crafting stash. I made the mattress from 2 pieces of craft foam that I cut to size and then glued together. And I just glued the fabric to the mattress to make the bottom sheet. The top sheet, or the cover, is made from a very fine napkin that had this really pretty embroidered edge. And I used the same napkin to make 2 tiny pillowcases. The pillows are just felted wool that I cut to size and then stuffed into the cases. This little table is from the living room kit that I showed you before. I made it, but then I realized it wouldn't fit in the living room with all the other furniture. But I think it can be used in the shallow side of the dollhouse, or just as an extra piece of furniture. There's still lots of decorating to do, but I've run out of time, and I think we'll have a lot of fun making things together and putting them in the house. I want to thank you for all the positive response that I've gotten with this project. It's been a lot of fun sharing it with you, and I sincerely appreciate you. Merry Christmas. Hey, if you like this project and want to see more like it, let me know by giving me a thumbs up, subscribing, and leaving a comment. Take care.